At what point, because obviously I think you've said before, you don't really decide what the goal is until, the day before or, the week of.
Sure. Yeah.
Like obviously we're 12 weeks out. I'm like, oh, I want to do
Yeah.
130. And my
Yeah. Yeah.
PB is
Yeah.
146. So it's a 16-minute
Yeah.
PB, hopefully.
Yeah. When do we say, hey, this is within the realm of like I'm actually able to perform at X?
Yeah, like maybe let's say I can do that session. Let's say because it's 2 by 20. It's 40 minutes of work. It's I mean it's not easy, but it's
No,
40
no.
minutes
Yeah.
of work. Like
Yep.
let's say I do it and then come race day, I can't do it and then it's 2 hours. Like what how does is there like there's obviously sessions and racing are different. So what I've actually found is I've always outperformed a session. So if I do 5:30 per K in a session, I then end up doing 5 minutes in the race or whatever. So like is how
It's a good
well
problem to have.
does it
Yeah.
correlate? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually
Um,
yet to outperform a session. I mean, I've yet to underperform in the
Underperform.
race.
Yeah. 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 Great problem to have. So it tells me a couple things. One, racing and getting up and actually like chasing something like motivates you, which is great, right? Doesn't scare you per se. It probably also tells me that there's going to have to be a factor for those early morning times, right? Like you're going to be a little bit faster when you're properly woken up and ready for a race day. It probably also tells me that you're running decent volume that's like, kind of keeping you suppressed from being able to blast every session. So lots of good things there. I'd also say it might mean that you're not close enough per se to the upper end of your pace limits to drive maximal adaptation. And then, I can tell you've listened to some of the videos. We don't need to be pressing up all the time, right? But to really push your limits and check that exploration, you do need to like be pushing closer to that, pending you're healthy, pending workouts are still going well. So what I would say is like a session like this one, if I was talking to you every week after, your tempo runs and interval runs and long runs and such, I would say, hey, your tempo runs have been really good. Last week on the 2 by 17.5, you reported it felt easy. I could have kept going all day, right? Okay, well, probably a little bit under tempo. So if we look at maybe that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try this as a half marathon based on the weather and probably a treadmill for you. So you can set it and forget it. Try that for the half marathon. Let's see if you can do it for the tempo. Okay, that's probably a pretty good reference point that we're within the ballpark, right? And then it also depends on the course too, right? Like if it's really hilly versus good downhills or flat, and there's lots of factors that go into it. At the end of the day, it's really hard to say because you did X, you will do Y. I mean, I see a lot of that online. It's like, do this workout to run X time. It's like, really? Like if that's it, like just do it 3 times a week and you'll guarantee it, I suppose. But workouts like this actually give you good, meaningful feedback to like dial in that range a little.
Hmm. But
Does
is
that
there
make
any
sense?
like
That
let's
Go
say
ahead.
let's say I ace it or I fail
Yep.
it.
Sure.
Is it like what's the next stage? If you fail it, where do
Yep.
you go from there? And if it's like, oh no, that's too easy, where do you go from there?
Let's say it's too easy, right? So let's say you go, 130 pace, and you're like, it's too easy, and I was able to blast the second half marathon one. Okay, well then here's what we're gonna do. We'll assume a normalized course for you, not like something super hilly, something normally within your realm, right? I'll go. We're gonna run the first 10 to 12K at 130 pace because we actually don't know if you can do that for a half marathon. We don't have enough racing data, and it's a big jump, right? We're gonna run the first 10 to 12K at half marathon pace. You're gonna check in. We're not going a step faster than that. Downhill's excluded, obviously, until 12K. If you're feeling good at 12K, race, go, right? I'd rather you come at the end of the build and then the race and crush your race and be like, Brant, you're like such an idiot. I had so much more in me and I ran 128 and I could have run faster. Then be like, well, we tried to run 128 because we got greedy and I blew up and ran 132. And now it's like, okay, well, I think you're in 130 shape, but like we don't actually know because you blew up, right?
Mm.
And so that's where like we go through a build. If we pace correctly, which is generally like pacing a little bit easier to start, and you end up running the time, then we get a really good data point. So then we reset the training expectations for the next block, which then allows us to like really dial in performances for 5K, 10K, half marathon, marathon, right? So that's where racing can be important is doing it to reset, because yes, those 2 hour tests can give you heart rate data and such, but it doesn't really help you with pacing per se. And so that's where we'd want to do this. And then let's say you come out of that half doing really well, and I mean, I don't know your race calendar, but it's like, hey, there's a 10K in 4 weeks. It's like, well, let's go do that too. And then we're starting to triangulate, okay, where are your gaps, right? It's like, okay, half was really good, 10K isn't good, and then we do a 5K in a couple weeks, 5K was good. Okay, well, that middle intensity is something we need to shore up the gap, right? Because then we can keep kind of checking. So for subsequent builds, we've got better and better data about what your pacing spectrums should be, or effort or power spectrums and such too, right? But it comes down to pacing conservatively to start for most people.
That's the thing I'm working on the most is the pacing, because like as I said, I use the stride, so I pace to power rather than to pace as such.
Yeah, and that's why I talk about like using 2 to 3 different metrics to triangulate, because one of them you'll be like, oh, this feels a little bit off here. I don't know about that. I don't know if I trust that one fully, right? But if you've got backups, then you can go through it. So in terms of your taper, love it. The only thing I might say is I might go 45 minutes that day. Just, I know it's just idiosyncratic, nitpicky, but I would just do that. But I love that taper. That's pretty. I do a 4x4, 5x4. Like again, I would just be like nitpicking about my own idiosyncrasies for what I do. But overall, like I don't have any qualms with that one.
When it says TB, that means tempo build, which is progression run. Just get lots of time at low volume, low intensity, and then a little bit at the above race pace.
Yeah, and everybody's kind of got their go-tos like day before. I think if it's something you've done, it's something like I'm not going to step in and be like, that's wrong. It's like, well, I've done it for my races and I kind of know how it works, right? So there's no like exact right way. This is why I actually like doing this series, where we can have a conversation about it and like actually do it versus be like, this is the right way to train. There's no right way to train for a half marathon. Like there's ways that are more better for you based on your situation. So that's why this is so fun, because we actually get to like work through your life and your training and do it. So yeah, no, that was good.